We're going to talk about one of the weirdest published Aliens comics I've ever read. The story is called Aliens Crusade, and if you follow what's in this Aliens: The Original Years Volume 2 omnibus, it says it took place in Aliens magazine issues 13 to 20, but if you look at Xenopedia, it's issues 21 to 22 and 23 to 24. This was lost Aliens media for a long time. Basically, Aliens magazine was just a weird thing because, of course, there was an Aliens magazine through Dark Horse in 1993. But this story, the last two parts, were never published until this omnibus. Aliens magazine got canceled at issue 22, and issues 23 and 24 would have had the concluding two parts to this story, which have been put back into this omnibus, which is why this omnibus went out of print so quickly, I believe, because the stuff in here had never seen a reprint. Some of it had never been printed, period. What is Aliens Crusade? Well, this takes place not long after the Earth War, so I would put it before genocide. There's still large pockets of xenomorphs throughout the globe, and this company called Mine Corp, if you pay them a fee, they have a bunch of Colonial Marine mercs, essentially. They're outfitted like Colonial Marines, but I don't think they are. They're never explicitly called that. But they have a lot of the equipment the Colonial Marines do. If you can hire them to clear out your alien infestation. When one of the lead guys at Mine Corp's wife goes missing in the UK, this group of mercenaries are sent in to deal with the xenomorph problem. They end up teaming up with a native girl, and they find out that the Archbishop, who is leading, I guess, Britain, is sacrificing people to xenomorphs because he thinks it's God's will. So we gotta explain that, because that's just weird, what I just said. I guess there was like a nuclear incident that happened in the UK. I think in England specifically, in the old Aliens timeline, and the people there have gone back to their tribal roots. So they kind of resemble a mix of the pagans that the Romans invaded back during the Roman Empire, and Mad Max rejects. What you gotta know is that Aliens Crusade is the no pants comic, because for some reason everyone, men and women, lose their pants in this. I don't know why, but they're all running around in like Speedos, which is really hilarious with your Colonial Marines helmet and like shoulder, like chest gear, and you have no pants. I get the native people, like, they would have their tribal Mad Max reject looking clothes, which is lazy. Do something different. And like the religious oligarchy, like the Archbishop and his people, are dressed like they would be in the Middle Ages, to show like, hey, things have like gone, they've gone back to medieval times, essentially, or pre-Roman times. It's weird. It's a really weird story, and it's a really rushed story. There's of course a ticking clock element, and you might be wondering why I'm not naming names of characters. It's because I don't remember a single one of them. No one is memorable in this, and you can't tell who's who most of the time, because despite a lot of this story being delayed for, like, the artist to color, you still can't tell. It's just... I get where they're coming from, because the irony is, a story like this exists in the Aliens timeline that this is eerily similar to, and that is the novel Aliens Phalanx by Scott Sigler, which came out back in 2020. It does a lot of the things that this does. It adds more things to it. It's a slightly an apples to oranges comparison, but I'd rather read Phalanx over this. Phalanx is actually a realized idea and works. This is just, what if we had like a post-apocalyptic aliens story, but we didn't want to really commit to any of it? Also, what if we had xenomorphs in medieval times, but we don't want to commit to that either? You get this. It is a blatant cash grab, in my opinion, and is not worth your time to check out. So, anyway, I would probably give this a 1.5 out of 5. It's nice that it exists, but overall is not worth your time to check out. So, anyway, have a nice day.